I am double booked in this hour and I need to jump over to the Giveth Comms call back and forth. So you'll see me hopping out, in and out, whenever there's a topic that I'm not so involved with. And I'll pass it to YGG.
Hey guys, good morning. Distractions. I guess I was a little distracted. I'm going through my DMs in Discord. I have a few DMs this morning. But other than that, no distractions. Early morning, just got my coffee and excited to sync with everyone and be present today. And I'll pass it over to Bear.
Yeah, thank you, YGG. Intentions. Just looking forward to go through the agenda items. Just making sure everything is ready for the community call tomorrow. And also, I think it's important to take some time to figure out the comms for October while Gideon is gone. So looking forward to that. And distractions, nothing at the moment, just fully present. With that, I'll pass it on to Nate.
Hey, thanks, Bear. Yeah, intentions are kind of go through these agenda items, see where I can help out and pitch in. I really like the idea of adding an additional meeting, especially for co-work. I think it's a really, really good idea. My distractions are currently, I just got back into the house, dropped off Cap, and starting the day. So I'll pass it over to Joseph.
So yeah, intention just to keep up to date with what's happening with his TEC, to update people what I'm doing with Nate, and yeah, just to see what's going to be happening for October. Distractions, having one or two help. I'll pass it to Gideon.
Thanks, Joseph. Yeah, my intentions are really just to prioritize what I should be focusing on, and if whatever anybody needs from me over this next week, because I leave next Tuesday. And that's really the distraction. Is now there's starting to be some trip planning stuff that's starting to kind of kick in during parts of the day. But other than that, yeah, really psyched. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I think one of the big areas, and it's great that you're here, Griff, is like on the comms and sponsorship and some of the stuff that that you're picking up while I'm away. It would be good to have everybody understand what's going on with that. And Bear, did you go?
Yeah, I did. I think that's everyone.
Yep. So that's me, just me left. Intentions will just go through the agenda. Distractions, none, although I have an activity at the top of the hour, so I may have to drop off 5 minutes earlier. We'll see how this meeting goes. Okay, so let's start. I wanted to start with the grants round, but I think it's probably best if we start with Gideon's stuff first, just because it's top of the list. So we can start happening with chatting about both communications in and just Gideon being away in general to check in if what needs to be done this week and who needs to pick up what during October. Maybe you want to take it, Gideon, or I don't know, how should we?
Yeah, I'll take it, and maybe I'll just tag team. Griff, feel free to jump in. Let's start with the comms first. So I think the solution here is we're not going to be doing super heavy comms in October, but we want to make sure we're not going to do kind of like general comms that are any higher than what we've been doing in non-campaign mode. But we're going to have probably a few areas where we're going to need some communication support to that's very directed around campaigns, like mini campaigns, and I think that's where Griff could help out. And so, what are those specifically? I think it's like around community calls, if we want to like get the word out and make sure that that's getting out there. I think around recruitment of grantees for this next round and trying to do that early on. I think that's another area. I think the stakeholder study, supporting that. And then the events series, doing advanced promotion for that stuff. So I think those are all things that, will be driven by other people on the team, but I think you can just sync with Griff. And Griff, were you able to get, I tried to get you set up so that you have access to the TEC account through Rex. Has that come through yet?
I did not try. I did not see a DM, but maybe there's a group chat or something.
He should.
I haven't closed my DMs on Discord in a couple days, but I don't see it.
Yeah. Okay. I pinged Rex again earlier today, so hopefully he'll reply on that.
Yeah, I can just ping him too.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. So I guess, does anybody have any questions about that? And like, what's the best way to sync with Griff? That seems like that's the one question, is like, what's the best way to coordinate with you, Griff?
Oh, by far DMs. I am just like a wreck as far as following. I can't follow any actual Discord chats. It's really bad. So DMs, Discord groups for any kind of big things are like great ways to get a hold of me. And yeah, or schedule calls like these. I'll try to. This one has a conflict that normally is fine. I'll have to hop in and out today, but like normally it's fine. So I should be able to make like a few regular calls as well.
That's awesome. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that, specifically around comms, like things that you're going to need to support, like various campaigns or specific things that we're trying to promote over this next 6 weeks, let's say? Five, four, three, two, one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I will be needing comms for like trying to plan the first token engineering as a public good Twitter Spaces event. Just kind of a general discussion in TE. So there will definitely need to be a campaign around that. But I haven't set dates or anything like that yet. So it's kind of a plan still in motion.
Okay. Well, that leads us to the next thing, which is the sponsorship for the token engineering grants round. We now have a slide deck that basically explains what the program is. Actually, I'll put a link to that in here. It's in the task that's in Notion here, but I'll just put it here too so everybody can see it. So Griff is going to be. I've done a couple of outreaches like last night to Trent and Zargum, and I'll probably do a couple other ones. But Griff is gonna be doing a big push on this, probably in like 2 weeks. Griff, something like that. Is that when you're gonna get to it? Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, I have to push the Optimism QF on Giveth first, because that's gonna happen in like 2 weeks. So if that gets well subscribed, then once I'm done with that, then I'll ask the same for the TEC one too.
Yeah, and I think timing-wise, it should be totally fine. That's still plenty of. It's plenty early. So, yeah, and so one of the things I just want to call out is, if everybody can look at those slides, it's just worth understanding the kind of the basic frame that we're taking. One of the things for you, Nate, to think about is we're offering as part of the sponsorship that the some of the kind of promotional aspects, branding aspects that come with sponsorship would extend into the event series. as well, right? That these things would be kind of the timing between the event series and the QF round are going to be very similar, and so I think that one of the things that will be really important is to use the events to help promote the grants round, just like we did with that roundtable that you facilitated, Nate. This would just be kind of a similar thing, but that the idea would be that we would put together like these sponsorship packages will also extend into the series.
And is this going to be blanket for all sponsors, official sponsors, or just certain tiers?
It's in those slides, but it's basically the top tier is like, brought to you by the TEC and Block Science or whoever it is, and then the next tier down. Yeah, thank you. The next tier down is kind of like it's what do we say? You're on the gold there, yeah. So it's branding. It's like mentions on all campaigns, but it's like one way to think about it is that at that level, it's more like branding, and it's called like a sponsorship partner, and the brands will be smaller. Whereas like can you go up to the top one, the platinum one? That's like brought to you by. It's like clearly a partnership between the TEC and whoever that other sponsor is. So there's only one of those, and there's two of the next level, and then there could be many at the lowest level.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm thinking that in the future, if this event series goes well, then that will open up its own sponsorship possibilities that could be separated from the grants round. So we could have like two kinds of like sponsorship possibilities in the TEC. But for right now, as we're kicking this off, I think it's better to just put all of our wood into one fire and just do one thing and do it well. So any questions or thoughts about how this is going to work, just in terms of people and timing and stuff?
Yeah, I guess. So as far as timing, it's probably going to be um, mid October. At least by balancing Griff's availability and all that. But I guess in terms of people, just want to make sure or clear, or in general, how are we going to go about sponsorships? Like, are we who like who- do we have a list of potential sponsors that we want to reach out to? Who is going to reach out to them? Who's going to follow up? Is it going to be just one person? Do we need to sort of distribute the workload and all that? That's sort of how are we going to go about all that?
I guess I wouldn't do it as organized as that. Like, I'm gonna reach out to everyone that I know, and if you guys have any individual leads, I would just, if you want to like ask me how I would pitch, if you're curious, like you can. But like, I would say it's just like, hey, here's the deck. You can modify the deck to add your contact information if you want to take on the lead. But I was gonna do most of it, I think. Yeah, but if you guys know someone who's like, you know what, I bet they would give us money, and I was just talking to them at a conference. Like, don't be shy, don't feel like you can't do it. But I think I don't know if it's worth the coordination, but I'm happy to work with someone if someone's gung ho to take on the task. Like, I'm always down to hang out and do some fundraising.
Yeah, thanks, Griffin. And I just put a link to the document that has some of the institutional prospects. But Griff has another spreadsheet that he's working with more individuals. And so, so if you take a look at that, if you look at that doc and you're like, oh, we should add so-and-so, just, I think, add it there. And then, you could just mention it to Griff. It's like, oh, I think this would be good. Main thing is finding, for the institutions, like finding an actual person.
Yeah, and the big wins here are like the platinum sponsor for 10K is then they are running the TEC round with they're running the round with us. It's like brought to you by TEC and this other group, which is pretty big thing. Like that's a lot of clout. The second sponsorship, which is 5K, is like sponsored by these guys, and they would get like mentions in everywhere that we can, and we would put their icon like prominently on like a little bit of a banner that a lot of people would get to see on a graphic. So we kind of advertise well their sponsorship. And then of course the 1K members, they would also be on the banner, but like kind of smaller. And it's really a donation to the token engineering space, but we would definitely mention them as much as we can and give them shout outs when we can. So those are like the benefits of sponsoring, and either way, like anyone who wants to sponsor would be a hero in the token engineering space. So if you know anyone who wants to be a hero in the token engineering space and is like has a lot of crypto that they want to donate, definitely feel free to reach out to them.
Yeah, that's great. And I just put a little mock-up that I sent to the Gitcoin folks. This was my request to them. So you can kind of see what we're talking about here. You got like TEC and block science big, and then off to the side, Ocean and Consensus are kind of smaller. So it would be something like that. And we don't even know whether Gitcoin will be able to do that in time, but we can do something like that. Similarly, on the grants portal, and we can look for other places as well. So anyway, it's all in that deck. If people have questions about that, please let me know before I take off. I don't know if there's anything else on that. I mean, here's another way of looking at this is like, I think this is all about iteration. This is what we've done all the way along is just, we do our very best effort. And then, okay, Griff, see you. We do our very best effort, and then, we see how it goes. And then we iterate, incorporate our lessons and do better the next time. So I think, with Griff driving this, I'm guessing we'll probably get some sponsors. And we may not fill out everything, but I think we'll probably get some, and then we'll learn, and the next round we'll do even better. So that's the way that I'm seeing it, at least.
Cool, nice. I like it. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't know if I know anyone, or at least like personally knew anyone, but I'll just think about it and see if there's anything I can do. I'm happy to help.
I'm sorry, just one last thing. I'm sorry to interrupt. But, I think the one area where we'll probably need some support while I'm away is in just doing kind of like some of the graphics support and thinking about if there's any kind of like early lead things that we need to support in terms of the sponsorship. I don't think it's going to be in the, there's these two campaigns. One is the kind of targeted at the actual grantees, and one is then targeted at the donors. I'll be back in plenty of time to do the work on the donors, but for the grantees, like the grants portal and things like that, we may need some graphic support and just thinking about how to promote that on those locations in like mid to late October.
Sorry. Yeah. 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 Okay. Then I guess something else that it's probably going to be at some point in October is also like the donors stuff, and also like actually getting started with the communications campaign for the grants program. So like I'm happy to do some form of grantee recruitment. Also, I also have access to the email, so I can to the grants email, so I can send emails to past grantees and all that. But just in general, I think it's also worth just trying to get someone to sort of take the lead on the communications for the grants program while you're away, in case we have to at least get started. And I don't think, and I probably wouldn't want to put all that hurdle on top of Grief, and I don't think he even has the time either. So, um, yeah, that's another thing we have to figure out.
Yeah, I think one thing that Griff is really quite skilled at is on Twitter. I mean, he has support of Steve, but he also just like is very good at like knowing how to like make things go viral. So I think using his time skillfully, so that you're not using it to like tweak little graphics or shit like that, but like using them as effectively as possible. So yeah, it probably would be good to have somebody who can kind of like help corral the logistics of like what needs. I think it's more of like logistics planning and like timing and things like that. And like I said, I do think it's more focused on the grantee outreach.
Yeah, I'm happy to take part of the work, but the very moment the grants program, like the very moment we start planning, I usually have to do some other stuff. So I don't, yeah, I wouldn't take on it myself. Like I can probably do part of the grantee outreach, but in general, the the whole communication strategy, I don't think I can take on. We don't have to answer this now, but just think about it. Everyone here in the call, so that when the time comes, hopefully someone can lend a hand. And probably we may not even need a particular individual to take on all that. We can all work on it. I'm down to do some stuff, and I'll probably do some stuff anyways. But just having someone sort of take the lead to do, like Gina says, the logistics would be helpful. I think we can move on from that topic right now. Um, we'll probably sort a lot of the grant stuff um, 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 mid-October, like whenever GIF is more available. We, alongside the sponsorships and all that, we'll probably sort a lot of the grants round stuff as well. Next topic is community events. In general, first, because we have the community call tomorrow, I think it is. Yeah, tomorrow. So we may want to get a quick chat about expectations, or if there's anything left to be done for tomorrow's community call, and also just maybe we get some time to brainstorm on who we get next for October, and if there's anything to talk about other events, it would also be a nice moment to just go through whatever else we have in store. Yeah, I'll just open it up to chat about anything community events, or if you Nate want to say something specific, but
No, nothing specific to add.
okay. For me, it's just well, we have coordinating in the group anyways, but for me, it's so if I understood correctly, we are going to do first. Sean is going to present. Like we probably just give a quick introduction, and then Sean starts, and the actual updates from the team go, say, the last 10-15 minutes of the call, right?
Yes.
Maybe Isaac/Nate, do you want to just give us a quick play-by-play of what the order of events is for the community call?
Yeah, the script pretty much remains the same. We're going to open up, as Gideon suggested, with the interview. I mean, we're going to introduce ourselves, of course, and introduce the team briefly, and then we're going to go directly into the interview. If you got our the presentation, we're going to use this Discord for the community chat, and I believe you have a presentation, right, that you want to show. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to do a live demo of an app that we've been building, a sort of data dashboard with tunable QF.
Yep, and then we can take questions right after that, and then we'll go through the updates. And I think that is the play-by-play of events that will happen. The details be in the doc that is created with the script. If you want to add stuff to that, like if Isaac, you have questions that you want to prompt YGG after the presentation, then I think that would be really good flow of things. Just to have kind of this conversation to where it's not just presentation and then waiting for people to ask questions about it, but to kind of prompt a discussion right before questions can be asked. Usually works really well. And yes, that is the right doc. It's in the chat.
Yeah, I can probably make up, say, 3 to 5 questions just to have something, and then hopefully, people attendance also interact, which is the next point. That I also wanted to touch on very quickly. We, at least judging by the tweet, we didn't get as much attention as we wanted to. And it's a bit late. The call is tomorrow, but if there's any last push we can make, we should probably do. Maybe retweet again from our personal accounts. We could maybe, I don't know if that's too much, but maybe even ask Gitcoin to retweet that, because it's in some form almost like a promotion of the Gram stack, because we are building on top of it. I don't know, but yeah, pretty much that. Trying to get a few more folks in line for the community call tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I like that idea, Isaac. If we put out something from the TEC today, saying, "Hey, jump on the community call tomorrow," I think that would be a good thing to push. I would love to retweet that, and we could even reach out to a couple people like Umar and Meg and anyone we've had conversations about with this work. Maybe we can just DM them and remind them.
That'd be nice. And I don't know if even the Gitcoin server, like if they have an adequate channel to share these things, but if they do, we should probably share in their Discord as well. I'll check all that after this call. Yeah. Anything else about the community call? I think in general we're set up for this one.
I have two questions. One of them, so I understand the community call is going to be here on the server. But I remember that there was this other idea of kind of like at the same time broadcasting it through a Twitter space. I don't know if that's right. Are we doing that or not? Just confirmation on that. I think personally, I think would be probably an interesting experiment to try out if possible. I don't know. And then the other question is in regards with recording the community call. I think that's probably something we would like to do, if I'm right. So yeah, just kind of like open it up for any thoughts on these two questions.
Recording, I think yes. The Twitter space, like if it's possible, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like if Sean is presenting a lot of context is going to be missed. So I'm not sure if that's, I don't know. If we want to do it, it's fine. But if for some reason we can't, or we just don't happen to be able to, it's also fine. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe it would be interesting to have it as some sort of hook, and maybe you, Isaac, as the facilitator, can once in a while just say, well, if you actually want to take a look at the presentation, please join us on our Discord or something like that, as an invitation to move from Twitter to Discord. Could be interesting. That way we would be kind of like having double the reach through Discord and Twitter, I think. But again, yeah, it's probably not a critical
Now
thing.
that
It's just an idea.
now that you talk about it, I'm not sure how it works, but I think I've seen like like live stream in Twitter now with all the crazy stuff Elon is doing. Maybe it's worth having a look, and if it's not too complicated, maybe we can broadcast Discord into Twitter live. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah.
One challenge is that in order to do that, we'd have to promote the space on Twitter as well. So we could do that, but if we're going to do this, we would have probably needed to do that a little bit earlier. We can still do it today. I just retweeted the reminder out, and it looks like Nate did, and it looks like Isaac did as well. But one thing just one quick thing. Maybe one thing that we could try is not this doesn't solve our problem tomorrow, but at least it will help us learn. Is maybe we do a test of just doing it on Discord as planned, then simulcast, like have one of us simulcast it on Twitter as well, even if it doesn't have like a huge following because we didn't do proper outreach on the Twitter space. At least we would know for future rounds whether it works.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's going to be, it's going to be missing a lot of context since he's doing a presentation and it's not so much an interview. But I do agree with testing it out. I can look into the best way to go about doing that, and from the perspective, so we are going to have it within the community chat within Discord, right? Not just a voice channel. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's in the what the hell's it called? It's hold on. It's the community calls. It's a stage. It's one of the Discord. I mean, one thing that would be good is I think it would be important for us to maybe just even do a little test of that because we've never done it before. I did some tests the other day, but I didn't have other people on the call. I hate to throw. I wonder if we should just all pop over to that just to see what that's like. Would you guys be willing to do that right now just to see?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
How do we? Where is it?
Into
If
your
you go,
community.
yeah,
and
it's
community voice channel.
you see it. It's in the TEC. It's like it's a community, and then it's at the bottom there. It's a green icon.
uh, just talk in the open is this one, and this one happens every other week, and sometimes feels like it's not enough to go through everything. So maybe I don't know. We can have 1 or 2 moments to use as a temperature check on how people feels about that, and depending on the feeling, we can, I don't know, get a little meet or something to schedule another call. I'm thinking maybe if anything, instead of being like an extra call all weeks, we just have one extra call on the week of the planning. So we have one open call on the week of the planning, and on the weeks that we don't have planning, we have this one. So it's, we have one open call every single week.
Yeah,
Can you
I think that.
well, go ahead.
Sorry, Gideon. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think that should probably gives us some more time and space to chat about things. And also, I think we have the flexibility that if we don't need it, we just don't use it. But we have that scheduled slot every other week, right? So yeah, I think it's good. And in regards with Notion, we'll just in terms of my opinion, I think we could probably just keep the base we already have. Like we've already put some work and time to it, and again, it's not super expensive. And I think it has working well for us. So yeah, I mean, I don't have any strong opinion, but it's probably not a priority to move things right now. So yeah, and sorry, the other thing that I wanted to say is that I just couldn't join before this community call. I was gonna say that it might be a good idea to delete the community VZ channel to avoid any confusion. Probably tomorrow. Um, I don't think we're gonna use it anymore, probably, right? So we might as well just remove it. Yeah, nice. Someone did it already. uh, yeah. Sorry, Gideon, pass it to you.
Yeah, no, I was just clarifying. Are you saying to do it on the Mondays when we do so that we're doing the postmortems or whatever we call it, the reviews on one week, and then the other week we leave it open?
No, so like say for example, this week we have this slot. This slot is either planning or open call. This week is open call. On the week that's planning, we schedule another call, say on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is. So we have, on one week we would have retrospective, planning, open meeting. Following week, open meeting, and then we back again. Retro planning, open, open. Retro planning, open, open.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of like, yeah, because like we could add another meeting and have it all weeks, but I think that's also too much. Like having 3 open meetings, for example, every sprint. But if we just add one, instead of thinking of weeks, if we think of sprints, we are just adding one meeting to the whole sprint, no matter in which week we end up adding it, with just one more meeting.
and
Does that make sense?
yeah, but you're not suggesting a particular time slot, or are you suggesting a time slot, right?
No, I'm not suggesting anything really. I just thought that doing one more would be ideal, but if people thinks we should do two, that's also fine. I'm just voicing what I think. The exact timing, we would probably have to do a doodle or notice meet to find it between all of us.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Thanks. Yeah. For what it's worth, my opinion would be, I feel like one added per sprint would be good, and then just hold it in the calendar and just be hardcore. And like, if we really don't need it, don't use it. But if we need it, then we use it.
Yep. Okay. I do have to hop off now, but it seems like I'm having the impression that we may want to look into that. If anything, I'll just follow up with I don't know, anyone here and see if you chatted about something else.
I just want to say I think that sounds good. I think that's a good small incremental step. Let's put one more. We need a bit more time, and just put one more up on the calendar. I think that's solid.
Let me put that in the agenda as a note.
And just real quick, Nate, while you're here, do you have like some estimate of when you'll have the events plan out for review? I mean, will it be before I take off or not?
Yeah, it'll be this week. I want to finalize that. I'm working on the first episode of it basically, and then Joseph and I are going to. We've been talking about how to kind of review the effectiveness of it, kind of just having metrics by which to measure the success of these calls and how to improve them. So, yeah, that document will be ready by the end of this week.
Cool. So it looks like Isaac had to take off. So I think we're all done, right? Anybody have any last minute things to add?
Do we have an optimism address on Giveth? And I guess I can add it, and we got to give an update. So if anyone wants to give me an update, I can get us at least that optimism address and get us into the next QF round for Giveth.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we do have a when you say an optimism ad, we do have an optimism account like that we can set up like a multi-sig. So we could, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, well, wherever we'd want to accept the donations to.
Yeah. Yes.
I think right now I have a key that I'm using that it just goes to, which I can continue to use, but we can change that for sure. If you guys want to add a multi-sig so the money just goes straight there.
Yeah, let me get that for you because Isaac has one. It's what we're going to be using for the optimism grant.
Okay, cool. Yeah, any address that's great. Any addresses that you guys have on any chains, I will take, and then the money would just go straight there. So that would be cool. And
Awesome.
And is there any update that I should make to the TEC grant? Like, should I make it focused on this money goes to fund QF, or should we just consider that this money is going to our funding pool in general? And
That's a good question. I mean, I think it would be kind of more exciting to have it fund the QF stuff. I don't know if it matters. Does it matter? Like, it's not like a legally binding thing. It's more just a pitch, right?
yeah, it's just a pitch. I mean, we can change it or not, but it's yeah, just throwing it out there. Like, if in general the addresses that we're sending the money to is going to QF directly, like that's what we're going to use it for, then we should say that. If it is going to more of a general pot, then I wouldn't bother changing it, honestly. People just donate based on the picture and the like few sentences that they see.
Yeah. I think just given the time, let's not change it. But I'll get you the address though. Thank
Okay,
you
cool.
thanks for doing that. That's great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and if there's any updates specifically that you think I should mention, I mean, or if there's like a good Medium post that I can throw in, then that's something.
Okay. Can you just send me the link to that profile? I have it someplace. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Cool. All right. Anything else anybody has? Okay. All right, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.